Hey folks, Alex here, healthhacksreview.com. So in this video, you'll see on my screen that I basically am on the Noblerex K1 Platinum. This is an oscillatory vibration machine. And so the purpose of this video is not so much a review of Noblerex, even though I will cover a little bit of the information. It's a well-known brand, been in the industry a while. But the point of this video is to actually show you an importance of calculating specifications. So I did catch a mistake in how, at least what I believe, that this company has been advertising on their website. And I'll show you in this video how to basically calculate the actual cost per GForce that you're paying. You should always know what you're actually spending for the amount of power that the plate is creating. Just very much like if you purchased a car. And you'd want to know to a certain extent that you're paying for a certain amount of performance of the vehicle. So that is actually something you can calculate, but you need what's called the GForce calculator. And I also have the formula for you, for anybody who's mathematically inclined and wants to crunch the numbers themselves. Now, I talked about in this industry, one of the main challenges is false specifications with a lot of brands, the vast majority of them. So they'll either be off on their GForce calculation, or many times they just inflate the speed, so the actual hertz, to appear to be at the same level as more high-end commercial professional devices. Like, for example, if you just look on the screen here, the Vibraflex also is known as Galileo Fitness in Europe, which is kind of like the gold standard, one of the best, oscillatory type pivotal machines. And they've done a huge amount of clinical research as well. So here we are comparing on this company's website with the Vibraflex, which is about a $14,000 to $15,000 machine. And the Noblerex is more in the $2,000 to $3,000 range. So if we just have a look here, we'll notice that according to this line right here, the frequency range, it is supposedly very similar to that, okay, if not a little bit more than the Vibraflex. And then we also see a 14 millimeter amplitude. So these are all kind of important specs to pay attention to. And then also, most important when you're looking at machines, apples to apples comparison, is the up to 9 GForce is what they're saying. Here we have up to 18 GForce. So first off, if you know just the basics about how we calculate GForce, you'd immediately recognize that this number doesn't make sense. It's less amplitude than what the Noblerex is capable of, and it's less speed. Okay, but the GForce is double. That's a lot more powerful than the Noblerex. Technically, it should be the other way around. This should be more powerful. Because it's delivering more millimeter amplitude and delivering a faster frequency. So we know that this number is basically off. And the reason we know that also is we can plug this into a GForce calculator because they happen to provide one. But you can also calculate it yourself. I'll show in a minute how to do the formula. So if we plug in 28 hertz and we plug in 14 millimeters of amplitude, we're left with 22.1 Gs of force, okay, according to that. So 22.1 Gs. So they're way under, basically, on what they're actually claiming. So then we have, two things here to consider. In their own specifications, did they not have enough intelligence to actually calculate their numbers correctly? I doubt that. It's, anybody in this business knows kind of just the basics of how you come up with GForce just from millimeters and speed, or amplitude and speed. That's not complicated. So it is very curious why this is at the 9G amount. Let's move over here really quickly into this document. Okay, so basically, just want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. So basically their machine, if you actually use that formula, which is the formula below, or the calculator, and plugged in their actual 9Gs as an outcome, and then worked the formula backwards, with their 14 millimeter amplitude, what we would actually find is that the machine would peak in speed somewhere around 16 to 17 hertz, not actually 28 hertz, okay? And then, of course, you can also do a calculation, and this is a good thing to do with machines if you can actually figure out their actual specs. We have $277 per GForce unit. So this is one way of getting to a number where you can then make an apples-to-apples comparison with other brands or models. So basically that 16 to 17 hertz, by the way, is the most common speed range. I would say 14, 15, 16. That's about what 90% of machines on the market actually produce. And if you've seen some of my other earlier videos on actually being able to calculate a machine's speed by using a laser tachometer, which you can actually purchase online, I actually show in there just simply how to calculate the plate speed just with a laser as the plate goes up and down like that. And it's something you can easily do. You can get a laser tachometer online, actually take it to any brand and that you're wanting to do a demo with, and actually calculate the specs on their machine in terms of the frequency and see if they're off with their specifications. 90% of the time you'll find that they are, but this is what's most common, is about 14 to 16 range. Actually, in the 16 to 17 hertz range, that is actually already unusual. Most of them hover a little bit below that. There are actually a few machines that do go way beyond that. And if you ever are curious about just all these different brands out here, what their specs are, third-party independent engineering firm tests on a lot of these machines, as well as, again, what might be higher power, higher GForce machines, then just feel free to reach out on my website, healthhacksreviewed.com, and I'd be happy to assist you in any way that I can. Anyways, I hope this video was educational. If you did find it helpful, just give me a thumbs up, and you're welcome to subscribe.